The Phantom migration. Phantom Wallet is officially dropping support for the Monad network on August 26, 2026, forcing a hard migration for thousands of active addresses. But the mechanical story here is not the departure itself. It is how trivially easy it is for MetaMask to absorb that exact user base overnight. Because of one specific architecture choice, a competing interface can take over Phantom's lost market share by changing a single string of network code. Zero-friction state access. When a user migrates from a Solana native architecture to an Ethereum environment, they usually face a fundamental cryptographic gap. Seed phrases derive addresses differently, and transaction structures fundamentally clash. But Monad is heavily optimized for EVM bytecode compatibility. Your Monad private key inside Phantom generates the exact same address as it does in MetaMask or Rabby. Users do not bridge assets. They do not wrap tokens. They simply import their existing seed phrase into a different interface, point the remote procedure call network setting to a Monad endpoint, and their entire transaction history instantly populates. The state lives securely on the network, not the client software. And the engineering trade-off that makes this zero-friction access possible goes much deeper than basic compatibility. The Bytecode Moat. Monad launched its mainnet in late 2025 by entirely rewriting the execution environment to process transactions in parallel. Historically, achieving throughputs of 10,000 transactions per second required abandoning the Ethereum virtual machine entirely, which is why networks like Sui or Aptos use custom programming languages. Monad engineers took the opposite bet. They built a custom parallel state database called MonadDB and decoupled the consensus mechanism from execution, but they strictly maintained EVM opcode equivalence. The devil's advocate position here is that this forces severe engineering complexity onto the node operators, as running a specialized database drastically increases the hardware requirements just to keep up. But the payoff for that back-end burden is absolute interoperability at the application layer. By enforcing strict bytecode rules, Monad ensured that when a major infrastructure provider like Phantom exits, the ecosystem does not collapse. It simply routes through a different pipe, which forces a much harsher reality for front-end developers. The interface commoditization. The rapid transfer of Monad users from Phantom to MetaMask proves that EVM bytecode equivalence and standardized RPC access completely commoditize the wallet layer. In alternative networks that require proprietary tooling, a dominant wallet deprecating support is a fatal blow to liquidity. But because Monad forced strict adherence to Ethereum standards, the interface layer loses its leverage. Wallets become entirely replaceable, viewing windows into an independent state machine. The core developers did the heavy lifting to parallelize the throughput at the base layer, leaving the front-end software with zero switching costs for the end user. When a single configuration update can transfer an entire demographic of network participants in an afternoon, the balance of power permanently shifts from wallet providers back to the underlying protocol. The concrete metric to watch next is whether centralized exchanges begin natively supporting Monad withdrawals without forcing users through wrapped asset bridges, effectively bypassing the wallet layer entirely. Subscribe for more